Hello, my dear friends. Today, let's reflect on one of the most beautiful stories of mercy and love in the Bible, the parable of the prodigal son.
A long time ago in Judea, a man had two sons. The younger son asked his father for his inheritance early. The father granted his request and divided his property between the two sons. Shortly after, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant land where he squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, a severe famine struck that country and he found himself in dire poverty. He took a job tending pigs, longing to eat even the carob pods fed to the pigs, for no one gave him anything. Finally, he came to his senses and realized that his father's hired hands had more than enough to eat. So he decided to return home and humbly say to his father, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants."
Now imagine this young man's fear and shame as he walks that long road home, rehearsing his apology. But what happens next is so powerful.
As he journeyed home, his father saw him from a distance and was filled with compassion. He ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. The son began his rehearsed confession, but the father called for the best robe, a ring, and sandals to be brought for his returned son. The father then declared, "Let's have a feast and celebrate, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found."
And let's not forget the other brother in the story, the one who stayed, who didn't leave home, who worked hard. When he sees the celebration for his brother's return, he feels hurt and angry. Why should this son, who left and wasted everything, be celebrated, he wonders. And we can understand his feelings. Sometimes it's difficult to see others receive mercy, especially when we feel we've done everything right. But here's the lesson. Forgiveness and mercy don't depend on what's fair in our eyes. Mercy is a gift given freely, and love doesn't keep score. That's what makes it so powerful. True humility allows us to rejoice when someone else finds their way back, even when it's difficult, even when it costs us something, because in the end, we're all in need of that same love. The father shows both sons his love in different ways. To the son who strayed, he gives forgiveness and a joyful welcome home. And to the son who stayed, he says, "Everything I have is yours." This story teaches us that God's love has enough room for all of us, no matter where we are in our journeys. We don't have to compete for grace because grace is endless. You see, my friends, we've all made mistakes. We've all had times when we've taken life's blessings for granted or walked down paths that led us away from what truly matters. Recognizing where we've gone astray and finding the courage to ask for forgiveness. The Father's love in this story is a reflection of God's love for each one of us. It's a love that doesn't hold grudges, doesn't keep track of wrongs, but welcomes us back wholeheartedly. Imagine if we could extend that same kind of love to those around us. How different would our families, our friendships, our communities be if we learned to forgive and welcome each other back without hesitation? My friends, thank you for joining me today. May this story inspire you to reflect on the love and mercy in your own life, to let go of grudges and to welcome others with an open heart. And remember, every time we forgive, every time we show mercy, we make the world a little brighter. Until next time, take care and God bless you.